Well, man, it's your big brother K-Rino, K-Rino. Y'all see the title. Thought about this when I saw some clips of just a lot of our young brothers and sisters in the music industry, um, and this thing that's been popular for a few years, where we like to hold a bunch of money, big stacks of money like that. Sometimes people hold up the stacks. Some people make the money telephone. But nevertheless, of course, there have been hundreds of pictures of rappers doing that particular pose with the money. And it's not just the money, it's the jewelry, it's the cars, whatever you can think of that falls under the category of material items. And this won't be a long one because I got an engagement to go to. But I wanted to speak on that and pose the question. I want to pose the question and make the statement. Number one, is there a link between material possessions and self-esteem? And basically, to answer the question at the same time, I ask it to explain the link between having material possessions and your self-esteem. Now, this topic, I don't want people to get happy. Some people think that, some people enjoy shooting slugs at our young brothers who do that because they like to talk about how ignorant they are, and that's not what that's going to be. I'm not here to tear down my brothers or my sisters. I'm here to speak to a mindset and something that may exist even in the subconscious as to why we see this. And I want to go deep into it. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in, because again, this won't be long. This is going to be quick. So we got to get it, much of it in as we can. Now, when you see rappers, athletes, black athletes in particular, showing off material possessions, showing off money, doing these things, people will look at that and say, man, they just ignorant. They just showing out. They just bragging. They just cocky and arrogant and disrespectful, and they have no consciousness in terms of their presentation and all that. These are the things that you hear said about those young brothers and sisters, because the first thing will come out of people's mouth is, well, you don't see white businessmen, successful white businessmen. You don't see Asian people who are successful flaunting like that. And to a degree, it's true. But also, they have not underwent the conditions that black people have suffered and endured in this country for centuries. And I know what you're thinking. Man, he getting ready to talk about. Yeah, I am. So, because the reason why is that we can never be dismissive of the principle of cause and effect. People will look at the effect. People will look at the result of something, and they will totally dismiss the cause because they are so upset or so offended by the result that they see directly in their face. So if a child is stealing out the corner store, if a child is lashing out and nobody seems to get it, he's acting crazy in school, the first thing we'll do is call that child who stole, he's a little thief, he's just a little bad little thief. The first thing we'll do, the child that's lashing out, he has behavior problems, he's out of here. But no one knew that the child who was stealing haven't ate in a day and a half, 2 days. Don't have no food at home because of the conditions that they live in at home. No one knows the conditions of the child that's lashing out. They're trying to get attention because something is not happening right at home. They just look at the result. Same thing applies when it comes to our young brothers in hip hop. You talk about brothers and sisters who are 18, 19, 20, 22, 25, 30, 35 in some cases. These are, in a lot of cases, brothers who have never had anything. We know the beauty of rap, man, the beauty of hip hop is that it originated from the mud. It came up out of the hood, the inner city, and people who had nothing, people who would never have went to college, people who didn't graduate high school, people who didn't even have a plan on what their future would be at any point. This art form that was created organically in the streets saved a lot of those brothers and sisters and opened up a door that would not have been opened up otherwise, because this art form does not require for you to have a license to do it. This art form does not require for you to have a degree in order to do it. So all you have to have is the natural talent in the grind to be able to put your stuff out there and develop a fan base, which will in turn translate into revenue. Revenue from your fan base on the independent level, or revenue from whatever the devils on the other levels give you at these record labels and these corporations, and you get endorsements the bigger you get, or the bigger they allow you to get. So when you hear about them rapping about the condition that they came from, a lot of that is real. A lot of them didn't have money, didn't have food, didn't know what was going to happen, how they was going to make it, and now they have it. And when you've never had something and you finally get it, and you are responsible for getting it yourself, there's a sense of pride that comes with that. Y'all got to follow me. There's a sense of accomplishment that comes with that. And now they feel like they've achieved something that's worthy of letting the world know, well, look at me, I'm somebody. Look what I did. Look what I have now based on where I was, because they know where they came from. They know where they came from. So I never had no money. So look at me now, I got money. Never had no diamonds. So look at me now, I got diamonds. I got diamonds in my mouth. Look at this car I got. I got 2 or 3 of these cars now. I got to show the world what I did, what I accomplished through what I have. Some of us may make the mistake of overdoing it. We may get to spending recklessly and end up losing what we had. But that comes with knowledge to be able to maintain and protect that. I'm speaking about the actual process of getting it in the first place. That is considered a modern day miracle, because a lot of those brothers have been always looked at like, you ain't gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't gonna be nobody. Now they serve as an example for many who come behind them, and many who came behind them because they saw that example. They say, man, he come out the same circumstances I came out of. In some cases, the same hood. I can do that too. And when they get there, they do the same thing. Look at my stacks. I got this, I got that. So we got to be careful to not look at them as being just ignorant or just being foolish. Do I necessarily agree with the showing of all of these things? And I don't agree with that as far as just showing it like that, but I understand why they do it. You've been the underdog all your life. You've been looked at as nothing all your life. And now, look at me, I'm somebody. So the material possessions are linked to your sense of self-worth and your sense of self-esteem, simply because they, in your mind, they now represent an accomplishment. They represent a level that I'm on now that nobody saw me being on. And they can remember a time where even they felt like, or might have felt like, I ain't gonna be nothing. And in some cases, even when they get the money, even when they reach the levels, even when they got the cars and the jewelry and the women and all that they end up getting, it's still something empty inside of them. They still not happy. But the presentation is still there because that's one of the few things that they can hold on to that gives them that sense of self-worth and value and respect. See, people just want respect. And this, what I'm talking about today, it don't just apply to rappers. It can apply to you at your job. You could have come from nothing all the way to making six figures in corporate America somewhere. I don't know. And you start to be able to be in a position to acquire things, nice house, cars, and you pull around to the family get together. You show up at the park that you used to hang out at or whatever, and people looking at you sideways now because now in their low self-esteem or in their envy, they looking at you, oh, look, she thinks she all that now. She got that little old job and got that little money. Now she thinks she better than us. And that might not even be the case with you. You may just be celebrating yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people who get the big head and they use what they've acquired to try to come back and throw it in the face of people. But that's layered also, because sometimes they'll throw it in the face of people who talk down and look down on them, and they want to show, they want, like the saying goes, success is the best revenge. So gaining success is the best revenge. So they want to come around and show those who doubted them, those who disbelieved in them, look at me. Like Mo D used to say, how you like me now? And even that, you don't have to do that. I understand, but you don't have to do that. You ain't got to do it like that. Your success is the best revenge. And please believe me, whatever you've achieved, they'll hear about it. Those who doubted you and talked down on you, they will hear about it. Because somebody gonna say, man, that boy Jay boy, he out there killing it now. Then the hater gonna be, oh, really? What Jay, what he doing? Man, that boy making six figures, man. He opened up his own business. He got a nice house now, man. He doing it, man. All y'all went to school together. They gonna hear about it. But you have to be wise in your movements, rappers, whoever, when you want to be boastful about what you've accumulated, because there's people out here that will target you. There's people out here that will look at you and be like, okay, he think he doing something now. All right, we'll see him. And you don't want to put that kind of target on your back, even if you have the urge to just show people what you did. Now, on the other end of that, there are people who have no vindictive intentions as it relates to showing people what they've gained. They don't have it in their heart. They just doing them. They like nice things. It's now they are able to afford nice things and get nice things. And you may just pose one day. Take me a picture standing in between my two cars. Take me a picture with a little money fan in my hand. I got a little money fan. I got these hundreds across here. You know, I've seen people do that with their regular paycheck. It don't have to be $200,000 in stacks. I've seen people have $800 and be like, whoo, got their bread. Because they worked for it. They earned it. And they not looking at it like this is something major. It's just like, I'm just showing my accomplishment because, again, you looking at what you're seeing in front of you as the current result. They looking at it like, from where I was and what I was, how I was trying to get it back then and how I was getting it back then compared to how I'm getting it right now. This is a blessing. But we be on different tracks mentally. So perception is important, because perception is simply the way individuals view a particular thing. So 3 or 4 of us can look at the same thing and see it totally different. And the person who presents that thing, that different people are seeing it, they view it from another perspective because they know what their intentions was when they presented it. But you misconstrue their intentions and say, well, oh man, he trying to be or she thinks she did. She think, nah, I'm just celebrating me. Unfortunately, we live in a time where you can't always celebrate you in that way because it's dangerous. Can't always celebrate you openly. We have to learn to be inconspicuous with the way we move. Don't put that target on your back. But also to understand that material things do not cure the problem of low self-esteem, low self-worth. It doesn't cure that problem. It can mask that problem for a time, because if you are using the material things, I'm buying this, I'm buying it, I'm buying it, I can do this now, I can ball out now, I can do this. If you're using that to medicate yourself from other pain in your life that you never got over, because if you went through some trauma as a young person or growing up struggling, and then you come into some money all of a sudden, it's not gonna cure what was in you. And once you get used to having money, get used to having cars, get used to having jewelry, get used to having whatever it is, when you get accustomed to that, now that form of medication don't work no more because you get bored. How many cars can you buy? How much jewelry can you get? How many times can you take a picture holding stacks of money? It gets boring because you realize, well, you know what? It's more to life. Life is bigger than the material things. It's bigger than that. The material things are not life. That's not what's going to make you happy. And that's not what defines you as a man or as a woman. So you got babies, 18-year-old, 20 years old, 25, who instantly come into this mindset, come into this money with that mindset, with an old mindset. They're not able to handle it. Or those who don't have it yet, and they see those who do, and they looking like, that's what I need in order to be somebody. I got to get a car like that, then I'll be somebody. Nope. No, you won't. You are who you are from an internal point of view. The essence of who you are exists within, and it's unseen. It's an unseen essence, but it can manifest itself based on your actions. Get some shout outs real quick. Shout out to Yoli Yoli. We heard you last night in the building, Yoli. We had you live and direct. Shouting out to Blanks at his birthday. Appreciate the donation. We have to make sure to show everyone love and never forget where we came from, and thank those that helped us on our new journey. That's absolutely correct. So the self-esteem that we tie and connect to the material things that we acquire, it's an illusion. It's not real self-esteem. It's smoke and mirrors. It's false. It's like modern day medicine, how the pharmaceutical companies create medicines that only cover the symptoms of your sickness, but they don't get to the root of it and cure your body. That's why I use the word medicating yourself. People say, man, people medicating themselves with drugs and weed and cocaine and alcohol, and it's the same principle. It temporarily takes the pain away, or gives the illusion that the pain is being taken away, like a pharmaceutical drug falsely masks the symptoms, but it don't cure your sickness. We got to cure our sickness. Our self-esteem has to be connected to our service to one another, our service to the Creator. Is that Tina P, the OG? Tina P, the OG, is in the building. But it has to be connected to something of substance. We talk about substance all the time. Man, these songs ain't got no substance. Substance is a very important word because it is the nutritional value of everything. That's what the definition of substance is. How a thing, the ability of a thing to nourish you. So if you're eating food that has no nutritional value in it, got a bunch of sugar and a bunch of artificial flavors and colors and bad poison ingredients in it, it tastes good. It fills you up, but it doesn't nourish you because there's no substance in it, no nutritional value in it. Music, man, this music is jamming. Ooh, man. They done hit them frequencies. They done hit them low vibration frequencies on us, boy, and it's jamming. And they talking about popping pills and doing this and doing that. And whoo, it's jamming. And it makes you feel good, but it has no substance. It has no life-giving message in it that will push you further into life. It has nothing that you can take with you and hold on to and apply that will make you better. It has no substance. So material items, they look good, they make us feel good, and in the right context, it's nothing wrong with having it. In the right context, it's nothing wrong with having nice things. But they don't represent substance, because you can still be miserable and depressed with those things, and you can still be happy without them. Then you lose them For some people who grasp onto material things as their form of self-worth, when they lose them, they lose their mind after that. Because that was the only thing that made people look at them. See, we just want to be appreciated. We just want to be seen. We just want somebody to look at us and say, man, you know, you want to make your mark in the world. Everybody wants to do that. That's something that's naturally in us. But the substance of those things, man, they lose value the second you get them. The second you get them, they lose value. You would never purchase something and then resell it for more than what you purchased it for, unless you flipping properties. You buying dilapidated homes, fixing them up. You may have got this property for a certain amount, and then you invested into it, fix it up, and flipped it. That's different. But you're not gonna buy no piece of jewelry that costs a certain amount of money, and then times get hard, you want to sell that thing, you're gonna have to take a loss. You have to take a loss because it's called depreciation, not appreciation, depreciation. Y'all hit the like button for your big brother, man. We are talking about the link between material things and self-esteem. I'm gonna flash back a little bit. Ricardo Lopez, I appreciate the love, Ricardo. I'm gonna go back and read some of the things that y'all have said. Let me see what we got. Dimples Gang 713 said, looking rich with a poor mindset is not what's up. Yeah, and here's another aspect to that. What I'm thinking about your comment. Some people whose self-esteem is really low, they will fake the look of having things in order to receive that kind of love and that kind of attention. But it's fake love and it's attention, but it's fleeting attention and it's fake love. I know people that'll stand by somebody else's car and pose. Then put in a thing, doing big things. I know people that will hold other people's money. Let me see that. You want to take a picture with it? We out here working. Nah. When I was 16 years old, I was in a group called Real Chill. We took some promotional pictures to promote our group and promote our project that was getting ready to come out. And my OG Wicked Cricket, he used to always wear a bunch of gold and jewelry and all that. And we linked up with Wicked Cricket when we was getting ready to do our photo shoot. And we was on our photos wearing his chains and his rings and all that. We was faking. That wasn't our stuff. We were trying to present ourselves to look like what a rapper is supposed to look like. But that wasn't that was his jewelry. We were presenting the image. We were playing up to an image. We was young. But unfortunately, a lot of us do that even at an older age because we had that low self-esteem, and we are in competitions with people that we competing with folks we shouldn't even be competing with. You looking at what you know, your neighbor just pulled in the driveway with a new car. You don't know how bad your neighbor might be scratching and struggling just to maintain that new car because he might be capping just like you. Dustin says, my father-in-law said, the only thing you leave this world with is your honor. But you can leave with more. You can leave behind more. See, I made a video about young Dolph when I talked about all of the investments that he had participated in his lifespan, all the properties that he had and the ownership of his music that he had, and all that is left to his children. That's a legacy. That's strong. That's what you want to That's the type of stuff you want to lean on as it relates to self-esteem. It's about what you accumulate and what wealth you accumulate, physical and mental, that you leave behind. You perpetuate that. Not about, I know a whole lot of people who had a whole bunch of money at one point in their life and now they don't have none of that money. You've seen athletes go broke. You've seen rappers go broke. You've seen actors go broke. You've seen people who hit the lottery go broke. So you're not guaranteed, no matter what amount of money that you accumulate, you're not guaranteed to even, you can lose that in this lifetime. You can lose it in a short period of time while you still on the same level that you was when you got it. You can hit a lick at 25 and be broke by 30. So wisdom comes in. Breaking ourselves to the essence of who we really are. And Young Shine said the money holds no wealth, no value. I would say value. So we can hold up stacks of money, but the dollar is in rapid decline as it is. And sooner or later, those same stacks and piles of money would just be worthless paper. It's already worthless paper. It's just being allowed to circulate as a medium, still as a medium of exchange, but it's worthless. Has no value. It's not backed by anything. The dollar used to be backed by silver and gold. It's not backed by anything. That it's just paper. It's just a note. So that which we hold and hold stacks of that, we just holding stacks of it. It's just paper. I would love to see rappers, instead of standing in front of cars and holding up stacks of money, I love to see rappers standing on a picture and they look behind, they doing this, and all you see behind them is land, acres of land. Then put balling out of control on the caption. Standing there, instead of holding a bunch of money, you dig down and you got a bunch of dirt in your hand. You know how powerful a statement that would be? Somebody holding up stacks of money, but somebody else standing there with holding up two piles of dirt in their hand. Why is he holding that dirt in his hand? Because this is land that he owns. And he scooped it up like, yeah, we out here winning. All the captions y'all can think of. We out here winning. This fool got dirt in his hand. What are you doing with that dirt in his hand? It's above your level of thinking. See? Josh says, I think the modern day explanation of growth is too outside focused. You can grow and get in a better position of life, but if you still got that same mindset, you're going to be stuck. Yeah, no question. No question. That's why I use the example of people hitting the lottery. Now, if you hit the lottery, if you win the Powerball, if you win $250 million today, there was no process of work that you went through to win $250 million. You just went to the store, bought the ticket, and wow, I won. You didn't put in you didn't go through any course of study, any struggle, you didn't go through any of that. So your mindset, if your mindset is not properly aligned to handle that amount of money, it's going to be the same as before you bought the ticket. Now, that's not to say that once you get that money, because there are many people who get the money and then they consciously say, okay, I don't want to trick off this money. Let me educate myself or put people in place that can help me properly manage this money. But far too many times there are other people who just like, let's do it. We getting ready to buy everything. How much you want for this pen? I mean, I give you 20,000 for it. Why? Because I can. So a fool and his money will soon part. That's scripture. See? A fool and his money will soon part. And usually it parts. Usually you lose your money to a wise individual who recognize the fool in you. How can I get some of this money this fool got? This fool don't know what he's doing. I can get some of this money. And they usually do. Al Powell said, put Gucci on it, and someone will buy that pen for a lot. That's right. We get caught up in the name brand game. Made a video about that y'all didn't watch. We are deceived into these name brands. Gucci, Versace, Louis, Rolls Royce, Alligator this, Ostrich, Nike, whatever it is. We have been sold names and man, if I got this on my shirt, I can this shirt cost me $500. Fool, man, this shirt $500. Shirt ugly as all I know. Ugliest shirt I ever seen in my life. You paid $500 for it because it has a designer's name on it. Balenciaga. Ugliest shoes I ever saw in my life. But it comes with education. It comes with knowledge. It comes with making us to understand why we think the way we think in some cases. Because sometimes we don't know why we do it. Man, why'd you spend $80,000 on that? Oh, no. So it's education. We have to educate each other. Our young brothers, our young sisters, we got to educate them. We got to educate each other, because the very people who give you that money, they know in their heart that they're going to get their money back from you. Or you're going to give it to one of their brothers in some other field. The juryman, you don't control the jury industry. The automobile industry, you don't control the automobile industry. I don't know any black automobile manufacturers, never heard of one. The clothing industry, there are a few black designers. There are a few rappers who have transferred into the designing, but even some of them are still under the umbrella of the corporations just to get them started. So everything that we purchase, that's why we have $1 trillion, over $1.5 trillion a year that we circulate through the black community that we give right back. We got to be educated. Drop your locations, man. Drop your locations. Let me know where y'all at. Let me know where y'all at, so I can show y'all some love, same kind of love y'all been showing me. I'm just saying, man, and I ain't just talking to rappers, man, because I ain't, like I say, I'm not condemning my young brothers in the rap game, because I understand, man, when you ain't never had nothing, you know. You ever played basketball with somebody who couldn't hoop? Have you ever played basketball against an individual who really couldn't play? They not good at all. And I'm not saying our rappers ain't good. I'm just using this as an example of the principle I'm getting to. You play against somebody who ain't that good. They hit one shot on you. They may just close their eyes and hit a shot in your face. And they celebrate like, oh, yeah. You know, they just, because they're not used to doing that. You know, I say, act like you've been here before. When you're not used to doing it or having it, it's natural to celebrate it a little harder than you would if it's normal. The individual who can hoop, if he scores a bucket, he just run back down the court. Ain't no big deal. That's just what I do. So when you see these rich, wealthy, powerful people, they accumulate more and more and more wealth. You don't see Elon Musk on TV with stacks and on the internet, and you don't see him doing that because that's what they used to doing. But some of us, we'll hit on a $5,000 lick and we all on Facebook. Stop doing that. Quit putting people in your business, man. Stop letting everybody know. Celebrate your accomplishments under your own roof with your family and give the honor and the praise to the God that blessed you with it. Stop letting the world know what you got going on in that manner. Now, there are things that we can say, okay, well, man, yeah, you know, I just did this, or I got a promotion. I mean, on certain levels. But don't put everybody in your mix like that. Don't put everybody in your mix. The gospel said, you ever seen Bill Gates' money phone? No, I never saw it. Heard about it, though. But even when they make displays like that, those displays come with a bigger purpose. Elon may introduce the Tesla. He may talk about this and he'll explain the features and you know, they may go into it on that level. But they're operating on a different mindset than we are, because we come from a condition that was intentionally imposed on us. So we never had nothing. See where y'all at, man. Buffalo, New York, Victoria, Texas, Oak Cliff in the house, man. What's better, internal life or external? Well, you know, life, period. You have to have a balance. There has to be a balance. There is a place for external things and material things, and that aspect of life, the external part, the visual, there's a place for that. It ain't nothing wrong to show up in a nice suit, nice outfit, wearing a nice watch, and it's nothing wrong with people who like to do that. If you want to buy some gators and all, there's nothing wrong with that. My whole thing is about context and about making sure that whatever it is that you got, that it does not define you in terms of your self-worth, your value as a person. It don't define you. That if, God forbid, you lose it all, you're not going to lose your life. You're not going to lose your sanity, and you're not going to become depressed. You may be disappointed that you made the mistake of losing it, but you know the bigger picture. And guess what else that applies to? When I relate self-esteem to material possessions. Even though this may not be viewed as a possession per se, but some people will view it as a possession. Guess what else this topic applies to? It applies to people. It applies to other people. In other words, some of our self-esteem and self-worth and value is connected to another person. to where you don't feel like nothing unless you got this person in your life. If this person leaves you, you can't go on. It's over for you. Your self-esteem should not be connected to another person. Your existence shouldn't be connected to another person. It should only be connected to the Creator, the God Himself. He's the only constant. People in your life are illusions. The people that you got in your life are illusions. They are fading. Did y'all hear the song I did on my latest album? It's called Cloud of Smoke. That's what I'm talking about on the song. Everything that you see is just passing like a ship in the night. It's making a slow transition out of your life. And you are making a slow transition out of their life. We just don't perceive it. So mama was there all them years. And mama was the rock. You could always lean on mama. Mama was there. Mama. Then mama passed away. Mama don't want you to stop living and to give up and to just fall off because she's gone. If you got a good mother, good father, they instilled everything in you you need to know to move forward. They prepared you for a day when they weren't going to be there. So don't even connect yourself to them. Don't connect yourself, your worth to a husband or a wife, a significant other. You don't, because you don't know what can happen. And your husband burn off on you and move to Brazil somewhere. And now you feel like you're going to die. I don't want to live. I'm going to kill myself. Really? You're going to kill yourself because of a person who obviously didn't value you enough? So this is the person that you place value on, a person who showed you they don't care nothing about you because they left? You should be happy. Not happy that the pain you're going to feel from losing somebody that you thought was for you. Happy for the long run, for the big picture. When you think about it and say, man, you know what? If he did all this to me, if she did this to me and treated me like this wasn't for me anyway. A lot of y'all was unhappy when you was with the person. How crazy is that? They was mistreating you when y'all was together. Then they leave and finally make the decision to break up. Y'all don't like this part, huh? Make the decision to break up, and then you crushed. You a pain freak? Assess the situation. Say, man, you know what? I wasn't happy. No, I was depressed when I was with him. So now let me go through this little stage of depression by this person being gone out of my life and get over it and pray that the God send me somebody that's for me. So don't even tie your self-worth and self-esteem to a person, because a person is a material being. May not be a material thing, but it's a material being. This is flesh. This is bone, water. Recognize and understand who you are in God's sight. If you know who you are in the eyes of the Creator, then you'll never let anything else dictate your self-esteem or bring you down to a level of low self-esteem. When you know who you are in God's sight, if man is the glory of God, God said, look, you know what? Hey man, look, This the best creation I ever made. You the best creation he ever made. I see y'all quoting that cloud of smoke. Excuse me, I see you. See? So if you understand who you are in his sight, nobody else's negative opinions of you are gonna matter. How can the creator look at you and be like, you are valuable, you are my creation? How can you know that the creator look at you like that, and then somebody else come along and tell you you ain't nothing, you trash, you worthless, you ain't gonna never be nothing in life? Nah, that ain't what the Most High said. I know what you trying to do. You trying to crush my self-esteem. Learn who you are, man. Money is not who you are. Diamonds and gold and jewelry is not who you are. Cars and houses are not who you are. Other people are not who you are. They don't dictate that, man. I'm out, man. Much love.